Good evening. Whatever time zone, whatever nation you're speaking to me from, you're welcome. I'm in the spirit, so if I stop or I pause, it's just things interfering around me. So the word I need to release now is, how does the devil perceive tongues? How does the devil perceive tongues? Many of you engage in spiritual warfare, and we know in essence the enemy we target when we're in warfare is the devil. Now we know there are principalities, powers, and rulers in high places, but the main one that we focus on is the devil. That's the one that Jesus spoke the most about. Now we obviously know that he is a spirit, and part of the reason why we pray in the spirit is to engage with spirits who understand the spirit. So praying in the spirit is using spiritual tools or spiritual weapons against spiritual beings. That is the essence of what tongues are, which is good, all good and well. But if you are even in human terms, but also mostly in God's terms, because God is the one who gives us this Sarabara. Just give me 1 second. I'm obviously being attacked here at the same time as I was speaking to you. The Karambre Eze Karo Dojera Amba. As I'm speaking, the devil is actually surrounding me. So I might actually use this as an example as how to pray against the devil. But anyway, so God gives you the tools, the weapons to fight the spiritual battles and the spiritual creatures. But if you are given a sword or a gun, but you don't know how to use it, if an enemy attacks you and he knows how to use his weapons, you'll be swinging the gun, you'll be, allow me to make my mistakes, I am being attacked. You'll be swinging your sword randomly or shooting your gun in random directions, and you'll either miss your target or you won't do him much harm. That is when your spiritual maturity has not gone to the level or come up to the level of effectiveness. So you've been given the tools, prayer, church, pastors, prophets, priests, you've been given all of those tools. Something is trying to separate my spirit from my body. I might have to get into the spirit fully for this battle. But you don't know how to use them right. So even when you pray, so how does the devil perceive your tongues? So if your tongues are swords and you're swinging your tongue, if you're Rambra, Area, Korazi, Prandea, demons are now coming this side. They want to possess my body for whatever reason. They want to possess my body. This actually reminds me of this thing here. Reminds me of the serpent in the garden. When he first spoke to Eve, and then he wrapped himself around her with his words. So the more he spoke, the less of her there was. At the end of the day, the enemy ended up possessing even her tongue. Because remember that the tongue is the most important part of your body, because whatever it speaks, whatever it releases, affects everything. Affects your mind, affects your body, affects your spirit. So when the devil gets a hold of your tongue, which is what he did with Eve, he turned the words that she had heard from God and turned it against her. And now his words were the ones that were in effect in her heart, in essence. And that is why he was able to convince her to do whatever she did, and convince her husband also to do whatever he did, because his words were the ones that were speaking inside. I had a vision of this place actually, now that I'm here. And I was warning people. I'm at the park right now. But this is not just a park. This is a place where a lot of people come to do their witchcraft and leave all sorts of creatures and spirits around you. There's actually a lot of spirits around me. And unfortunately with spirits is that they are invisible. Let me repeat that again for those of you who don't understand spiritual things. Spirits are invisible. You cannot take out a knife or sword and swing, even if you see a spirit here now. You swinging a knife at it is not going to cause much harm, if any. It's going to probably harm you or make you look crazy because you'll be swinging at nothing. But those of us who are in spirit will know that to engage that spirit, it is either by word, telling it to go away or to depart or to leave, because spirits, words are spirits as well. Spiritual, let me put it the right way. Words are spiritual as well. The devil, when he spoke to Eve, those words became spiritual. And those spiritual words affected them from the garden to the point where their spirits departed from them. And their flesh, their men, sorry, I am being observed. So they're trying to figure out a way to attack me. I am a little bit higher spiritually than most. Even now my position as it stands, I'm higher than the park itself. So if my enemy is coming from this side, they're coming from a low point, which is what in essence, if you're a child of God and you're in spiritual warfare, you're not coming from the grave up, you're not coming from the ground up, you're coming from heaven down. Which means that anything that is attacking you, you're already supposed to automatically feel and know that you are above it. Which is something that many people don't understand when they engage in spiritual warfare. I always see or hear them praying as if the enemy is greater than they are. And they pray with such ferocity as if Arembro Zigara de Jekopra Andre Zeero, as if that enemy or that spirit is stronger. It is not stronger than you. It is actually much, much bigger than you. But it just depends on which place. And I used to pray like that as well. Which place that you're praying from. So you need to press in. There's someone who's watching this now. I need you to press in the spirit. As in you're in a valley of spiritual warfare and the enemies surrounding you. You can see it, you can sense it. People are watching you. People are watching your words. They're questioning your ministry. They're questioning whatever you've been saying. They're questioning God inside of you. They're questioning a lot about you. And they're questioning you from a place of superiority, that they're above you, and therefore they're trying to make you feel inferior. So I need you to come up to a place of the heavens. Remember, you're sitting in heavenly places just as the Lord is. So I need you to go above those words, because they're giving you words, but their words are spirit, and they are harming your spirit. So you need to come up in the spiritual realm and say, no, I am the head, not the tail. I am above, not beneath. I am high and lifted up, not in the valley floor, not near my grave. They will not bring me down, because they're trying to bring you down right now, and you need to come back up to the place where you're supposed to be. So rise up in the spirit as I'm about to begin to pray. Rise up in the spirit and pray from a position of strength and power, not weakness. You're not weak. You are not weak. You're not weak. Let me re-emphasize that you're not weak. When we engage in spiritual battle, we engage it from a place of authority and power. That is very important when you pray against the devil. Authority and power. Authority and power. And let me impart that spirit onto you now as I speak these words. That authority and power may be imparted upon you, that you may know all things that are spiritual, and that God may show you all things from His place in the heavens. I'm going to end this video here now. In my next video, I will begin to pray. Be blessed.